Lately I've been feeling things change. We've been working hard, no sleep, get it every day. And I swear that we ain't stopping till we pay. Yeah, the pressure on, gotta make it work. Triple play, yeah.
This is Triple Play Fantasy Basketball. March Madness. It's going crazy. I'm Coach. On the other end is player. Just joking. Coach James Lewis. Doc Mendelson on the other end. And for most of us that have competent commissioners, this is your championship week. And we are trying to prepare you best we can for the week. What say you, Doc? I'm excited.
Oh, man, James. I mean, we're in March Madness. We're fantasy basketball finals. It's been a good season. And, you know, as someone that does in all sports, like, I'm still focused on basketball, but baseball's here. But I just want to put a question out there. So in our home league, James has advanced to the finals. I am like a 55-45 if I'm going to make it. And if I make it, I would be playing James in the finals. So for those who are listening, who are watching, hypothetically, if I was to play James, who would you want to win? Please leave in comments. That's you, Keith.
Oh, they probably want you to win. I mean, you haven't. You know, I've won multiple championships since you've been commissioner and you've invited me to your gracious league. And so it's March Madness time. Root for the underdog, okay?
That
BYU,
being said,
the Mormons.
What personality do you like better? What person? Who do you think would represent it better?
Yeah, do it for the fantasy culture.
The fantasy culture.
I'm gonna get trolled a little bit on the other end because somehow I got Bronny in here. He's dropped 17. We're not telling you to pick him up, but it's pretty cool to watch a Bronny James.
He's probably not even eligible to be picked up on ESPN leagues.
That's funny, because that's ESPN. Games watch week, championship week 21. This is the 23rd week of the NBA season. An 8-8, 6-8, 7-7-8 is like, that's as fair as you get. You're probably going to have, you know, a couple slots open every single day. So staying on top of things, stay on top of your streaming, whether you get 3, whether you get 4, you get 5. It is huge. You can cut anybody at any time.
Cut Sabonis.
You can cut Jokic.
Potentially cut Steph.
Don't cut him early in the week, but I'm an owner of not in Doc's league, but in the one I'm commissioner of the Joker's Ball, which I thought was pretty creative. But I have Nikola Jokic and LaMelo Ball, and they've missed a total of 5 games and maybe 6 with LaMelo maybe missing this week. And Jokic never misses games. That might cost me a trip to the championship in my league. That's unlucky. It's unlucky. He's been the best player in fantasy basketball all year. And if you took a rough one during the week, you could have been a 1 seed. And that's fantasy basketball. And there's a lot of crazy lineups and crazy things, a lot of crazy illnesses, and rest is just acceptable on paper now. So we feel bad for you, but we want you to make sure that you're on top of things. Denver does not play the weekend. They don't. So like after Friday, you just cut those guys anyways. Anybody that's on Denver. And if you got pickups, you're going to cut Jokic and Gordon and Murray and whatever. If you're in the
set an alarm on your phone 30 minutes before the first game time starts so that you can look in for injuries, inactives, all of that. It is vital.
100%. Games played, everyone plays 4 or everybody plays 3. Again, it's pretty fair. That's what you asked for in the championship week. Nobody has 5. Nobody has 2. Teams with 4 have a little bit of an advantage because they have one more game, of course. Brooklyn, Cleveland, Dallas, Indiana, the Lakers, Milwaukee, the Knicks, Orlando, Philly, Phoenix, Sacramento, San Antonio Spurs, Toronto, and the Washington Wizards. 16 teams with 3. Yes, go ahead, sir.
You had an opportunity to say it was laissez-faire, and you missed it.
That's why I got you. I mean,
okay. This is why
I can't get everything.
This is why we're a team.
I can't win every championship. Just 16.
An asterisk on yours, bubble championship.
Yeah, I have a bubble championship like LeBron. 16 teams with 3. Atlanta, Boston, Charlotte, Chicago, Denver, Detroit, Golden State Warriors, Houston, Los Angeles Clippers, who got Kawhi Leonard going crazy. If you were the person that rolled the dice on him, you might be reaping the benefits. Memphis, Miami, Minnesota, New Orleans Pelicans, Oklahoma City Thunder, Portland, and Utah. Side note to that, Minnesota has a pretty weak schedule overall. In the Pelicans, they play one game between Tuesday and Saturday, and Golden State and Minnesota, they play one game in 5 games until Thursday. So those are kind of like teams that like at the beginning of the week, you may break ties with anybody that's on the bubble. And then again on the weekend, Denver doesn't play. So, breaking ties with anybody as far as that's concerned. We'll move on. I'm not going to say that today's show is star-studded with fantasy pickups. You just got to be on top of things. In leagues, people may have broken ties with other players. I was just telling Doc that of the Nets, can't think of his name, Johnson.
Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson became available. So I'm waiting till my pickup on Monday morning, and I'm gonna go and try to get him before the rest of everyone does it. Like if fantasy wires become important in these times. If I'm in the semifinals, you cut a guy to maybe be 88%, roster.
I mean, here's the thing. You might have to force action this week. It's like placing bets when you don't want to, but you just feel like you have to.
And sometimes you can go safe, which we'll start with the Cason Wallace. You might go with like a safer option and know that this is within the last month, but this is like every week he's going to give you 12, 3 and 3, and nearly 2 steals. So if you're going for that steals category, you notice that the opponent that you're playing gets a certain amount of steals. You typically get this much. You got to do some background. Like he might be a guy that you're going to get, and he might push you over the edge when it comes to those defensive categories. And he's been pretty consistent. He doesn't really miss games, and Thunder's sitting people here and there. And I think that he's like the safe pickup. I'm gonna throw out this other name before you hop in here, Doc, because this is a boom or bust. Jaylin Williams had a line of lines. He had a 19, 17 rebound, 11 assists, hit 3 threes, 2 steals against Philly. Like you get that, that's a top 3 fantasy night for anybody. And he had another 14-5, 4 assists. I wouldn't say expect these numbers, but in the last week, that was a boom bust week for him. He boomed 6% roster, so you can find him basically anywhere. 12 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 threes in the last week. So boom, ceiling, floor guys for the Thunder. You mentioned, I think about Isaiah Joe. I think about Aaron Wiggins as well for Oklahoma City, but they only played 3 games. Well, I know that was a lot, Doc, but I just wanted to unload the whole team before you came in.
Oh, James, do you feel better after unloading all that?
Dude, I felt razor sharp, but go ahead.
All right, pause. So for Cason Wallace, Lou Dort has missed the last 3 games with a hip contusion, questionable for tonight's game. But with them being locked up as essentially the number 1 seed in the West, wouldn't be surprised.
No, they are. Yeah, I think they are 100% locked in at that.
Okay, all right. Well, with 12 games, they are locked in. Cason Wallace missed 1 game against the 76ers on the 19th, but other than that, has played at least 25 minutes in the last 5 games. So like you said, a good floor for that. And that game was against the 76ers, so a game that they could take it easy, and they still won. And then talking about Jaylin Williams, he's actually had 2 triple-doubles this month. We look at the 19 points, 17 rebounds, 11 assists, but March 7th against the Trailblazers, 36 minutes, 10 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. When he plays, he performs well. And I know that's kind of an elementary thing to say, but the playing time is maddening because after that triple-double March 7th, he plays 10 minutes the next game. But, after that 19 point, 17 rebound, 11 assist triple-double, he played 23 minutes. So I like that he's getting a little bit more bump as we get closer. Chet Holmgren has missed a game here and there. I wouldn't be surprised if they rested Hartenstein. He's definitely somebody I think that should be rostered more than 6% of leagues, and he's helping you out in every category.
Yeah, he's definitely not like on the top of the list as far as people that are getting picked up. You look at Zachary Risachet. Of course, we don't mention people that are like more than 50% owned, and he's there. But the number one pick is giving you fantasy value right now. The other people at the top: Justin Edwards, Trey Lyles, Tristan Vucevic is not on the show for a reason. He played 4 minutes last game. Kevin Huerter. These guys are people you want to look at. We are definitely talking about Justin Edwards, who I think that when you're in the draft, it is a good sign that like draft somebody that was highly rated out of high school that didn't have a great freshman campaign at whatever college they went to. Because you see Justin Edwards, you see Isaiah Collier, these guys are pros, and they're proving it in their rookie seasons, even though their freshman years did not go well in USC or Kentucky, for example. But there's a reason why they're, super highly talented. And it's good to just take a swing in the second round. And Justin Edwards he's hooping right now. And he's hit threes, which was real rough last year, but 18 points in the last week, 3.5 rebounds, 2 dimes, 2.5 threes, over 1 steal against Oklahoma City. He popped off for 19 and against the Spurs 25. And right now, Philly's clearly in a tank session. Paul George out for the season, Joel Embiid out for the season. Not to mention Tyrese Maxey. I was like, you're going to get shots. And right now he's doing it consistently. He might be, I guess, the number one player if you're like, if he's available over there and you're free.
Yeah, I mean, the shots are there. The playing time is there. Over the last 8 games, he's played at least 20 minutes in all 8. In 4 out of the last 8, he's played 30 or more minutes. In 5 out of those last 8 games, double-digit shot attempts. He's going to give you some value in rebounds, those 3.5 per game, and he is good for the occasional defensive category. I would definitely say I'm leaning that he's more of a points league guy, but I mean, at this point, he's helping you in any format just based on the volume.
And from one Philly to the next, Yerson Yabusele, who made a name for himself in the Olympics. He got signed, and I mean, he's just a good player, and especially developing his 3-point range. Again, he's getting a lot of more opportunities in Philly, not just being a super role guy. He can let off a little bit, so it's kind of a pick 'em when you're talking about him and Justin Edwards. He's been a little bit more, he's been more consistent throughout the duration of the year. He's pretty much starting every night. So Yabusele and both of these are multi-positional eligible, but some similarities.
One thing I'm going to say about Philly and Dallas, because we're going to talk about somebody from there soon. Keep in mind the players that have eligibility games left. So for this week, we saw Jeff Doughton be inactive for 2 games because with the new CBA and the second apron rule, G League or two-way players can only be active a certain amount of games. So that's why Jeff Doughton was inactive 2 games last week, is so that he could be eligible for more games later in the season. This is something that we might see with Dallas if they sustain another injury or 2. They might only have 7 players that are eligible. Hence, they would have to forfeit a game. It's something that we haven't really seen before, but just something that, we want to educate you about because, small decisions like this can impact waiver wire moves and ultimately your championship.
And look at the schedule. So Philly plays 4 games. So we've mentioned 2 Philly teams. They play Monday and they play Wednesday. The Clippers, they don't play till Wednesday. So like they have a short week. So if you want to pick one of these Philly guys at the beginning of the week, kind of save some of your other pickups, it's not going to hurt your team. It's only going to benefit, even if they might not go crazy on the line, but they definitely are worth a pickup at the beginning of the week, especially if you got somebody from the Clippers that is worth letting go. Kai Jones, I know this is a last month stats. He's missed a lot of games here, but when he has played, he has been productive, shooting 88% as a rim runner.
He's gonna win you that category.
He's gonna win you that category if he plays. Okay, this is a boom bust pick, but I don't know if it's a DFS, like just for the day type of thing. But if it's looking good and he's gonna play, like 16, almost 9 rebounds in a block is.
Yeah, I mean we might have to edit the graph. We might have to edit that graphic. He ain't hitting 2.3 points or 3-pointers per game.
Oh yeah, I must have took that from the last one. Yeah, he's not doing that. That part
Yeah,
is
I don't think he's shot. I don't think he's shot a three this season. But yeah,
not like Quenten Post. He
yeah.
does that.
Oh, James, maybe you did that on purpose for a transition.
Yeah, I'm trying to make
Yeah,
up for a mistake for
yeah,
for a positive. Go ahead.
yeah. I mean, Quenten Post over the last 3 games has scored double-digit points. He's shooting a great percentage, 58.6 from the field. He's not rebounding as much as you'd like for a big man, but he's giving you some blocks. Steph Curry is probably out this week with a back contusion. So Quenten Post is going to get more minutes. And he's been playing semi-well for the entire season. He has buy-in from his teammates, from Draymond, from Steph. So I think that's going to give him an endorsement to continue with those minutes. And over the 8 out of the last 10 games, he's played 20-plus minutes in 7 of those, including 27 minutes, which was a season high most recently against the Atlanta Hawks. So once again, just a name to monitor 5% in Yahoo. And I don't think, James, with a lot of the guys that we're talking about this week, we're going to see surprise inactives, illnesses, rests. I don't think we're going to see that for these guys that we're talking about. So these are safer options in terms of their production, but also their availability.
Yeah, besides Kai Jones, which is kind of a question mark, but I agree with the other guys. These are all like consistent guys throughout the weekend. I heard David Jacoby. I don't think he made it up, but he was calling him Quenten Perimeter instead of Quenten Post because he's not a post player. He shoots the three, a 7-footer, he looks like a true 7-footer, but he's just out there just to shoot. But he's spacing the floor. He gives a different look for Golden State that desperately needs their bigs to shoot some threes, and he's carved out a consistent role. Unfortunately for Trace Jackson Davis owners, he kind of took that spot. Trey Lyles last week, 12 points, nearly 7 rebounds, nearly 3 assists. And he's reaping the benefit of an injury of Doma Sabonis, and I think he should be pretty consistent from the rest of the year, which in fantasy terms, probably just last week, this week.
I mean,
what say you about Trey Lyles? Yeah.
I mean, Sacramento is a team that puts up a lot of points. And James, as someone that rosters Levine, DeRozan, and Murray, you benefit from that pretty well. And Trey Lyles is someone that I hope benefits from that. Back-to-back games of 22 and 13.
Four-game week.
Yeah, they're vying for the play-in. And I know they traded for Valanciunas. Valanciunas is a black hole on defense. And I think Sacramento has realized that. And they thrust him initially in that starting role when Sabonis got hurt. And they realized that it didn't work. And hence Trey Lyles has moved into those starters minutes. Over 20 minutes in the last 5 games that he's played, power forward, center eligible, and he's given you some threes. Him, and I'm going to segue to Keon.
And just to add to that, they are one of 2 teams that have back-to-back Monday, Tuesday. So you could get one of these guys at the beginning of the week. If it doesn't go well for you, you move on. Dallas is the other team that goes back-to-back on Monday and Tuesday. I'm looking at Orlando does it too. But those 3 teams, if you're looking at players, and we'll have another Orlando guy later, but if you're looking at guys from Sacramento and Dallas, as mentioned, you could take these moves at the beginning of the week, as well as those Philly guys that were really trying to help you out at the beginning of the week, and when it comes down to the end of the week, and you got to make those hard decisions of Denver players, Utah players don't play in the weekend either, and you can just drop off, and then you can make your whatever pick you need to try to win you the league on a Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. Keon Ellis had a good game yesterday, 20 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Malik Monk was a late scratch with an illness, and just mystery illnesses going around. But it is something to monitor with them playing a Monday, Tuesday. I would say he's definitely a must-add if Monk does stay out. The performance has fluctuated a little bit because before the 20-point game and in between the 13-point game, he put up a dud with 0 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 steals in 18 minutes. But he's position eligible in 3 spots. And there's that upside. There's that Monday, Tuesday. James, you remember what you called him last year?
I do not.
He's chills.
Oh yeah,
Keon
he's
Ellis,
chill. Yeah,
Keon Ellis is chills.
He definitely is chill. And it's so funny because Doc and I were talking about how players have repeat stats on certain weeks, and like we'll look at our graphics from last year and we're like, what the heck? It's like damn near identical. Keon Ellis was on our thumbnail, and he's doing the same exact stats at this same exact point last year. It's just kind of crazy how that happens and how it's like not just so much a coincidence, like because it actually happens. Keldon Johnson.
I can't believe we're bringing him up. We're an amateur podcast. Cancel us. Telling you to pick up Keldon Johnson.
Love Keldon Johnson being a shooting guard, small forward, power forward eligible. He just kind of puts his head down and grinds. And when he does get the opportunity, he's not afraid to let it go. And like when Wemby and Fox are there, which they are not, and you're not going to get as much fantasy relevance right now. He should get some more usage. And he should put up some numbers. He's not going to go crazy. Not going to win you league, but like defensive stats, you get points, rebounds. Not going to get great assists. You're not going to get great efficiency from the field goal percentage standpoint, but he's definitely like what is that? The all-tool player, like utility. Yeah, he's like a five utility guy. Like you can knife him in there.
Look, Keldon Johnson, if he was a restaurant, he would be Subway. Subway is a safe option. Subway does the job. Are you ever going to be like, wow, I'm craving it?
Let's go to Subway. Nah, but like it's there. Yeah, all right, let's just get a bite.
But yeah, it gets the job done. It's efficient. It fills you up, and you're not going to break. And you're not going to break the bank on it. And that is what Keldon Johnson is. And for some reason, that gets a bad rap. But position eligible for shooting guard, small forward, power forward. He's giving you a little bit in each category. So if you don't like Subway, you don't like Keldon Johnson, but that's probably in the minority of y'all. James, the last week I had to take these deep cuts, man. I have to lay it all out on the line.
And last but not least, Wendell Carter Jr. Power forward center eligible. 12, 11. It's a 3. It's a block. Yeah, that's pretty much what we've seen. And what's been the case when we talk about Wendell Carter Jr. since he's been in Orlando uniform when he plays.
Yeah, I mean, he's now fully recovered from injury earlier in the year. He's playing starters minutes mostly on a given night, 20-plus minutes in 9 out of the last 10 games, 25 minutes in 9 out of those last 10 games. He's not going to average a double-double. Obviously, he's had a couple good games in the last week, but the opportunity is there, and he's been pretty serviceable from a block standpoint, at least 1 in 8 out of the last 10 games. So just someone to monitor, because going into the year, you probably wouldn't think that he'd be 30% rostered heading into championship week.
And even though these are numbers like throughout a week, he is pretty inconsistent what he does. Like he'll have a good game and he'll have a bad game. Then just a bad game.
That's the thing. After a bad game, then you know to pick him up.
It's actually pretty wise of you to say.
I get it. I get it every once in a while.
I wouldn't think about that. Orlando, unfortunately, has been pretty disappointing after their great start to the season. It's been an awesome ride here. Doing this show. Eric and I don't know, like 4 years deep. We started doing this fantasy basketball talk, or just basketball talk. It started with during the pandemic, and we're still able to produce content every week, and it's been pretty consistent. And if you like, hearing about some fantasy basketball with some, interesting takes in between, and we really appreciate you. I know that there's not a terrible amount, and that the stuff that's out there, we're a little different. Okay, so those of us that have been with us, been watching, man, we just really appreciate you. And we're very thankful, and we're basketball nerds like you if you're at this point in the show, so we can relate.
Yeah, James, great season, and as always love chopping it up. Hopefully we get renewed for a 5th season. We'll have to plead to the bosses and see if they can make it happen.
Yeah, we gotta get you in the intro. This is ridiculous. Like,
Yeah, okay, that we'll make that for next season. James, you've seen Toy Story, I assume, right?
Oh man, bro, it's on there. Like my son is into the Toy Story and
I told James,
Woody.
I said I added a graphic at the end, and you're not allowed to look at it, and I'm gonna post it up.
So long, Carter.
If that doesn't get you in your feels, then I don't know what will.
It does. It does. And
James, I'm not going to talk to you for another 5 months till basketball season is
I'm into
around
kid
the corner.
We want to do reviews on all the kid movies, and the fact that Moana 2, they rushed it.
I'm out on this. I don't watch movies.
Toy Story 5 on the brink next year is coming out. But yeah, who's paying attention to those things?
Mm-hmm.
Just a father and 2 Todds. Good luck on your bracket. We didn't talk much March Madness. Eric invited me to do his bracket, and he might be a little salty because I never put anything in. But
he said I'm out this year.
Yeah, I'm out this year. I made one. The Final Four team still alive. Maryland, Duke, Auburn, and my shark are kind of Kentucky. Maryland is a homer thing, obviously, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Who you got?
I couldn't tell by your background, James. That's
who
crazy.
you got cutting down the nets. Yeah, no, we're nice this year.
Tennessee.
Okay,
you heard it here.
Are you from Tennessee? The only 10 I see. All right.
Pause
for coach, player, everybody in between. Next year, we'll see you. Peace.